Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how the show took a 7-year sleep, and it was shown that Lakshmi is living with her daughter in the village while Rishi is also living in the city with his son Rohan. So let's continue from there. The principal tells Rishi about the school exchange program and says Rohan is selected for it and he would have to go to the village while some village students would come to the city. And Rishi says, wow, that is a good news, and he was scared at first at the principal's sudden call. The principal says to Rishi that you know about our school cultural exchange program and says few students from our school will go to the other school and the student at the other school will come here. The principal says our student will go to the village. Rishi hears village and he recalls telling Lakshmi that he wants to live a stress-free life. A flashback is shown. Rishi asks Lakshmi that where will I get such a place that I will live peacefully without stress. Lakshmi says you should go to the village for a complete change, and she describes about the village life and how beautiful it is. Rishi says it is time for upgrade and says he will go to the village and get water from there. Lakshmi asks Rishi if he will really go to the village. Rishi says I love you, so I love the village. Lakshmi smiles and the flashback ends. The principal tells Rishi that Rohan will feel good and he would learn from the village life and he would understand its values and traditions, so Rishi should allow them to send Rohan to the village. Rohan comes to the principal's office and asks Rishi. The principal asks Rohan if he wants to go to the village. Rohan happily says yes, and the principal says to Rishi that we are sending Rohan to Godaspur. Rishi is shocked on hearing Godaspur because that is Lakshmi's village. The principal at Parvati school asked Lakshmi to let Parvati go to the city school for the exchange program. Lakshmi is hesitant because she doesn't want Parvati's present to meet with her past. The teacher asks that why is Lakshmi worrying, but Lakshmi remains silent. At the city, the principal at Rohan school asked Rishi that what happened to him suddenly and why is Rishi refusing for Rohan to go to Godaspur, but Rishi remains silent. At the village, Parvati asks Lakshmi to agree and let her go to the city, while at the same time, Rohan is also convincing Rishi to let him go to the village. Rishi finally agrees to let Rohan go to the village and he asks him to go to his class and Rohan leaves the principal's office happily. Rishi says to the principal that I am ready to send Rohan to the village, but I myself wants to go to the village and check the arrangement. The principal says to Rishi that we have done the arrangement at the village and Rohan will be fine, but if you want to still go and check, then you can go. And the principal asks if Rishi has so much time to go to the village. Rishi says yes, I will manage. Rishi asks Rohan's principal to give him the principal's number of the village school. The principal gives Rishi the number. Rishi calls the principal of the village school and Lakshmi was still in the village school principal's office, so the principal asks Lakshmi to pick the call. Lakshmi picks the call and says hello. Rishi is on the call and he is shocked to hear Lakshmi's voice. Lakshmi says I can't hear you. Rishi also says that he cannot hear the person properly and the call ended while a song plays in the background. The city principal asks Rishi to call the village principal again. Rishi calls again and says hello. Lakshmi looks on hearing Rishi's voice, but she wasn't sure if it was really Rishi. The network is bad and the city principal says I will call from my phone, so the principal calls the village principal from her phone. The village principal still asks Lakshmi to pick the call and Lakshmi picked the call and she could hear the city principal's voice clearly. The city principal asks Lakshmi if all the arrangements are done for the city student to come to the village and Lakshmi assures her that all the arrangement is done. The city principal is about to end the call, but Rishi asks the principal to let him talk to the village principal. Just then, Lakshmi gives the phone to the village principal, saying that the city principal is asking about the arrangement in the village, so the village principal takes the phone while Rishi is on the call. Rishi asks the village principal about the arrangement, saying that his son is coming there and he asks about the arrangement. The principal tells Rishi that they have made all the arrangement and she asks him not to worry. Rishi thanks the principal and disconnects the call. At the Oberoi house, Rohan tells Grandma that he is going to the village for their school program and Grandma is happy. Grandma asks if she can come along, telling Rohan how good the village life is, and they both laughed. At the village, Parvati talks to the old lady living with them and tells her that she is going to the city school. She says she will tell her granddaughter about the city when she grows up, and everyone laughs. Shalu noticed that Lakshmi is not happy with Parvati going to the city, and she shares her worries with Lakshmi that Rishi stays in the city and Parvati might meet Rishi there. Lakshmi says that the school that Parvati is going to is in another area, and she asks Shalu not to worry because Rishi and Parvati do not know each other as father and daughter. But Shalu thinks that something is going to happen if Parvati goes to the city. Later in the night, Rishi and Lakshmi thinks about their moment together while sleeping, and Rohan and Parvati comes to their respective parents. Parvati tells Lakshmi that God wants her to search for her father now, and that is why God is sending her to the city, and she thanks God, but Lakshmi gets worried. The next day at the Oberoi house, Karishma comes to Neelam and tells her that Rishi and Rohan are not in their rooms. Neelam asks Grandma if they did not tell her where they were going to. Grandma says if Rishi had told me, then I would have told you also, and Neelam gets worried. Neelam calls Rishi on the phone. Rishi and Rohan are in the car on the way to Godaspur. Rishi picks Neelam's call and tells her that he is going to the village Godaspur for Rohan's school exchange program, and Rohan will be staying at the village for some days. Neelam gets worried hearing that Rohan is going to Godaspur, and she thinks that how will she tell Rishi why she is afraid that Rohan is going to that village, so she asks Rishi to come back home fast, but Rishi made Neelam understand that it is very important for Rohan to go, and he ends the call. After ending the call, Neelam tells Karishma and Grandma that Rishi went to Godaspur, and Neelam gets worried. Rishi reaches Godaspur and he asks some men about Saraswati's house. The men lies to Rishi and send Rishi behind a tree because they wanted to steal Rishi's car, and Rishi and Rohan leaves, leaving his car behind. Shalu gets worried that Parvati might meet her father in the city, and Lakshmi doesn't want to think about her past. Shalu thinks that whom should she support because Parvati desperately wants to meet her father, and Lakshmi doesn't want to remember her past life with Rishi. At the village school, a teacher tells Lakshmi that she got the responsibility of taking care of the children that are coming from the city for the exchange program, and Lakshmi asks the teacher not to worry because she would make sure that the children enjoy their stay at the village. The men that sent Rishi to a wrong address in the village are about to sit in Rishi's car, but they see Parvati inside the car and they were shocked. The men ask that what is Parvati doing there? Parvati says she will not let them do anything wrong, so she will stay in the car so that they will not steal the car. The men take Parvati out of the car forcefully, and then they sit in the car to drive off, but they couldn't find the car key. The men look for the keys, and Parvati raised the key up from outside the car and says that she have the keys, so the men run behind Parvati to get the keys, and Parvati ran away to fool the men. While some thieves were trying to steal Rishi's car, Parvati owed the car key, shouting, "Oh dear Lord," and the guys asked her to give them the car key, but Parvati throws the key in the grass. Rishi hears Parvati shouting and he comes running there with Rohan, so the goons get afraid seeing Rishi and they ran away. Parvati asks Rishi why did he leave his car key in the car and asks if anyone does this. Parvati says she saved his car, but she had thrown the key in the grass. Rishi says no problem. You saved the car, so we should search for the car key, and they begin searching for the key in the grass. Rishi asks Parvati for her name, but Parvati finds the key and says I found it. Rohan asks if that is her name. Parvati says no and says the key is found. Rishi takes the key and it falls down again, so they bend down to pick the key, but both Parvati and Rishi's head collide and they say oh dear Lord at the same time. Rishi is shocked to see that Parvati is behaving like him, and Rohan says even Parvati says oh dear Lord, just like Rishi did. Parvati says to Rishi that we have to collide our heads again, and Rishi recalls Lakshmi's words that it is said in their village that if their head collide once, then they should collide it once again, else a black dog will bite them, and the flashback ends. Rishi says to Parvati that if they didn't collide their head once again, then black dog will bite them, and Parvati says yes. Rishi says it seems everyone says this in the village. Parvati asked Rishi to collide his head on her head, else fight would happen too, and they collided their heads while a song plays in the background. Later, Rishi, Parvati and Rohan are in the car. Rishi asks Parvati to tie the seat belt and he helps her. Rohan asks Parvati if she had ever sat in the car before. Parvati says she has only sat in the tractor and there's no seat belt there, and everyone smiles. They finally reach the village school. Rishi says, why was that guy fooling us? The school is near. Parvati says the guy is Ram Vijay and he wanted to steal your car, so that was why he fooled you to go somewhere else. Lakshmi is in the class and she senses something while Rishi is entering the school. Rishi asks Parvati about the principal's office. Parvati says she knows that she will take him to the principal and she calls him a fool. A flashback is shown and Rishi remembered how Lakshmi always calls him a fool. The flashback ends and Rishi wondered why Parvati is behaving just like Lakshmi. Rishi thinks that the village school is good and the girl Parvati is cute and her parents are lucky to get such a lovely daughter. In the principal's office, Lakshmi mistakenly dropped some papers and she bent down to pick the papers from the floor. Rishi comes to the principal's office but he couldn't see Lakshmi. At the Oberoi house, Neelam worries that Rishi might miss Lakshmi in Godaspur. Karishma tells Neelam that Lakshmi is dead, so it doesn't matter if Rishi misses her or not. Grandma tells them that Rishi had loved Lakshmi immensely before Lakshmi died, and Rishi would definitely remember and miss Lakshmi wherever he is, even if Rishi is here at the Oberoi house. At the village school, a peon asked Parvati if it is good that he saw her in a rich man's car and he followed her. He asked Parvati not to do this again by following a stranger in their car, and Parvati says okay. Pinky asks if Parvati sat in the rich man's car. Parvati says that yes, and she tells them that the uncle's car was good, and she felt that her father would be the same to same like the man. At the principal's office, Rishi says there's nobody here and he goes out, closing the door without seeing Lakshmi, who was picking up some papers on the floor. Lakshmi senses Rishi's presence and keeps her hand on the door. Rishi also keeps his hand on the door from outside the office, sensing something, and a song plays in the background. A peon comes there and asks that what does Rishi want? Rishi says he came here to meet the principal, but she is not here. The peon asks Rishi to come and they leave. At the Oberoi house, Neelam argues with Grandma and tells her that she will not let that inauspicious girl called Lakshmi's thought come into Rishi's heart even for once. Grandma says to Neelam that you talk about Lakshmi, and that was why I told you that Rishi would never forget Lakshmi, even though Lakshmi is no more. Grandma says Rishi must have reached the village. Neelam says I will call Rishi and ask him to come back home from the village. Grandma says Rishi had gone there for Rohan and not for himself, so Neelam should not disturb him. At the village school, Parvati and Rohan plays a nice game. Parvati asks if the city boy can jump, and Rohan jumps and falls down. Rohan shouted and Lakshmi hears him and comes to him. Rohan hugged Lakshmi and cried. Lakshmi feels a connection with Rohan while hugging him, and a song plays in the background, and Lakshmi asks Rohan about his name. A peon tells Rishi about the school exchange program as it takes Rishi to the principal. The village principal gets Rohan's principal's call and he tells her that Rishi Oberoi has come there and he would fund her school also, and she asks her to make sure that he doesn't have any problem while he is in the village, and the principal says okay and she ends the call. Rishi comes to the village school principal and tells her that he wants to know about the arrangement for the program. The principal calls Lakshmi as one of their teachers and asks her to come to the projector room, and Rishi looks on surprised hearing Lakshmi's name. Lakshmi hears the principal and asks Parvati to take care of Rohan, and she goes. Rishi goes out hearing Lakshmi's name while the principal tries to stop Rishi. At home, Shalu thinks that Parvati might unite her parents one day, and she gets hopeful, while Rishi also thinks that what if Lakshmi is still alive? Alright guys, so Rishi has gone to the village where Lakshmi is. Don't forget that Rishi still believes and thinks that Lakshmi is dead, but they will still definitely see each other one day after the 7-year sleep. But get ready for the, hit and miss of, how Zeeworld used to do it now, where they will not let them meet on time. They would have a lot of opportunities to meet, but they would never get to see each other face to face until later. But at the end of the day, they will still get to see each other, but that is definitely not going to be the end of their problem. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.